is Gina Leccio of Selfless Esteem, in which you find peace and joy by focusing less on ourselves and more on the love of God. Today's episode is about 5 things to do in a family feud. Someone writes, "Dear Selfless Esteem, my sister is loved so much but doesn't seem to see it. She had a fight over records of wrongs with a family member a few years ago. That family member has reached out multiple times wanting reconciliation, but she resists. My family has not been all together in a few years. She says I don't support her because I believe in forgiving. She has cut me and other family members off multiple times for weeks because we view it differently. I'm trying to let go and let God, but we are all sad. Signed, Distraught Family Gal." Well, Distraught Family Gal, I'm sorry you're going through this. Family feuds are so painful. Here are 5 things you can do during this difficult time. First, pray. You are wise to trust God. The most important thing you can do is ask for help. He hears our prayers as stated in Isaiah 65:24, and He's near the brokenhearted as stated in Psalm 34:18. Secondly, get help. You stated your sister cuts you and other family members off for weeks at a time because she views it differently. It seems as if you have different definitions of reconciliation and forgiving. Find a competent family therapist to facilitate your communication and provide an objective perspective. Thankfully, your sister does resume communication at times, which means she's interested in having a relationship, so she may agree to participate in family therapy. At the same time, I recommend individual therapy for each of you so that you can freely express yourselves, especially since therapists are required to maintain confidentiality. Otherwise, expressing your thoughts and feelings to other family members or to friends of the family could make matters worse. Third, give it time. Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God." It's good to be a peacemaker, but don't rush the process. Your sister's reaction seems to indicate that the record of wrongs were egregious or she was deeply hurt. In that case, it takes time to heal and build trust. If you choose to have family therapy, the therapist can help your family members identify their needs and how to meet those needs. The therapist can also help your family compromise if necessary. Outside of therapy, take a break from the problem and just enjoy each other's company. Resist any temptation to talk about the issue until your next therapy session. Fourth, study reconciliation in the Bible. Consider the manner in which Jacob sought reconciliation with his brother Esau, and you'll find that story in Genesis 32 and Genesis 33. Jacob had stolen Esau's birthright. Esau became so angry that he intended to kill him. Jacob fled to safety in another region. And that's all in Genesis chapter 27. 20 years later, Jacob started heading back. He sent gifts to Esau, and when they met, he bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. Instead of stealing from Esau, Jacob did the opposite this time. He gave Esau numerous gifts because their relationship was more important to him than material possessions. He humbled himself and put his brother first. Consider the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his brothers. And you'll find that in Genesis chapter 37 and 39 through 45. When the brothers returned to their father, Jacob, they acted as if Joseph was killed by an animal. Jacob's grief was inconsolable. Over 20 years later, Jacob observed his brother's remorse. One particular brother, Judah, had such a change of heart that he offered himself as a slave in place of his youngest brother. This is the opposite of his previous behavior, which was selling his brother into slavery versus offering himself as a slave to protect his brother from slavery. You stated that your family member reached out for reconciliation. Has that family member's heart changed as evidenced by behaving the opposite of the records of wrongs? Is that family member taking a posture of humility and putting your sister first? Maybe this can be explored in individual and family therapy. Finally, do self-care. During this stressful time, show yourself some love. And you can check out the podcast episode about managing stress. In the midst of family conflict, May you have inner calm and peace. And if you'd like to ask a question about a life stressor you're facing, you can do so at GinaLeggio.com, and the answer could be featured in a blog, podcast episode, and YouTube video.